Hello, I'm Stefan Smith of Spitfire Productions, and this is my review of the new documentary film Earth. Now, Earth is, of course, the cinema version of the very popular BBC documentary series Planet Earth, which ran for 11 episodes at an hour long each. The film itself is 100 minutes long, and as well as taking the best bits from the documentary series, they've also included 30% of new footage which you won't have seen before on television, even if you've watched the entire series. I'll jump right into it and say that Earth is without a doubt the best single documentary film I have ever seen in the cinema or on television. Obviously, in a documentary series, you've got more time to develop aspects that you want to talk about in your documentary. But in terms of a single documentary film, this is the best one I have ever seen. I'll get into the more technical aspects of the film in a minute because they are absolutely amazing. But first, I just want to say that this film conveyed emotion to me in a way that no nature documentary ever has. And I think it's very difficult for a nature documentary to do this. But in this film, when you had, and I will call them action sequences in this film, where you had a predator chasing its prey, or a group of elephants trying to escape from a pack of very hungry lions, you really feel drawn in. It's exciting, like action sequences in big budget Hollywood films. And the same with the hardships that the animals have to endure in this. I mean, the theme of the film is the migration of animals, and these elephants, for instance, who are trekking across the Kalahari Desert in South Africa to try and get to a fertile area where they can find nourishment and water, etc. And when they're trying to brave all these incredible obstacles in their way, you really get emotional. You feel sort of attached to these animals in a way that I didn't think was possible. It's very easy it's a lot easier to make you feel an emotional attachment to people acting on screen or in documentaries, but to do it with animals, real animals, not animated Disney cartoons, that is something quite incredible. I've never seen any other film do it like this, and it's definitely worth seeing just for that. I'll jump into the technical aspects of the film now. I mean, the picture quality is absolutely amazing. Not just the quality, but the cinematography and the shots, absolutely incredible. If you've seen the BBC documentary Planet Earth, you'll already know this. If you haven't, just be prepared to be absolutely blown away by these things. From the sharpness of the close-up shots to the vast sort of vistas that this film provides. There's one shot where you see thousands of caribou on their annual migration, just trailing off into the distance, and it's absolutely amazing. It's also very good use of time-lapse photography and also of slow motion, which looks absolutely incredible. There's this slow motion shot, which is in the trailer actually, of a great white shark jumping up and eating a seal. Absolutely incredible. The other good thing about this film, and the reason why it's excellent to see it on the big screen in the cinema rather than just on the television at home, and that is the audio. The surround sound is like no other surround sound I've ever heard in any documentary before. When it's in the rainforest, the sounds are coming from behind you, screeches of monkeys or whatever. Underwater, you've got the songs of the whales, the noises they make coming from everywhere, and the deep rumble of the bass frequencies. For instance, when they show a sandstorm in the desert, the rumble is really, it's really sort of bass frequency that sort of gets you. The other amazing thing about this film is the music. George Fenton's music for this film is absolutely incredible. I mean, I love this film for Planet Earth, his music for Planet Earth rather, but for this film, the themes have been brought out much more, and they help to convey that emotion that I talked about. And one of the reasons that the score for the film, I think, might be better than the score for the TV series is that the score for the film was recorded by the Berlin Philharmonic, which is one of the best orchestras in the world. The one thing I thought I wouldn't like about this film is that I had got very used to David Attenborough's narration in the documentary series on TV, and for the film they used Patrick Stewart. Now, as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason why they couldn't have simply used David Attenborough. There's no reason why they couldn't have just used his narration, but they went with Patrick Stewart, and Patrick Stewart did an excellent job. His narration it's not narrated all the way through. There's quite long sections where it's silent and you just watch the film, but where there is narration, he does an excellent job of it. Now, that's all the positive aspects of the film. What about negative aspects? Well, the only one negative aspect of the film, as far as I'm concerned, is not actually a negative aspect of the film itself, but simply of the quality in which I saw it. I didn't manage to see it on a digital cinema screen. I saw it on a standard film cinema projector, and as a lot of this film does take place in the Arctic, the sort of the black specks of dust and dirt on the film are obviously very visible when most of the background is white, and that did annoy me, especially as I had been used to the superb quality of the television series. So my advice to everyone would be just make sure you, as hard as you can, to try and see this in a cinema with a digital projection screen. And that's it, yes, just make sure you see this film. It's absolutely incredible, best documentary I've ever seen. If it ever gets released in America, which I hope it will, it better win the Best Documentary Oscar. And actually, I think it also ought to win the Best Soundtrack Oscar, because it has got the best soundtrack of any film, documentary or otherwise, of this entire year, in my opinion. That's it from me. Make sure you go see the film, and I'll see you next time.